What is the first video game you remember playing? Duck Hunt and Super Mario. The combo cartridge for NES. Prince of Persia. The first Sonic the Hedgehog for Genesis. My cousin had it, so he introduced me to Sonic, Mortal Kombat, and all kinds of other shit that's now classic. Pong. But I'm very, very old. Super Mario Bros. On NES. Super Mario Bros. 3. I was hooked from the first hit. Zelda 2. The Adventure of Link. I actively dislike the game now, but I kind of admire what it was going for. But I was absolutely enthralled with it from the word go. Tetris on my sister's Game Boy. I built a house with a window. Apparently that was wrong, so I lost some weird one my dad loved that involved killing giant gorillas that were destroying buildings. Spyro on the PS1. Red alert. That game raised me. This whole thread is making me feel a lot less old than I thought I felt. Thanks for that. First-gen Nintendo will always have a special place in my heart. Crash Bandicoot. Pokémon Fire Red. I played that before I could even read. Pitfall for Atari. Tonka trucks on PC. With the steering wheel thing that sits on the keyboard. You could use a bobcat to shovel piles of dung at the zoo. Dig up fossils with a backhoe at the beach. Other things I've forgotten. Jet Set Radio Future. That game was literally ahead of its time. The Oregon Trail. In middle school. At home it was Super Mario Bros. Duck Hunt that came with our Nintendo Entertainment System. Good days. The demo disc that came with the PS1. It was a Christmas gift and my mom didn't know you had to buy games separately. Lol. Lego Star Wars The Complete Saga. Zork 3 on a Trash 80 RSTRS-80. Rampage. Edit. Fuck. THS thread is making me feel old. Pac-Man on Atari 2600. Age of Empires 2 on the computer. Wii Sports. Lego Star Wars on PS2. Pong. I'm old. Back when I was a kid we banged rocks together and stared at dirt. Super Mario All-Stars for the SNES. Super Mario 64 or Super Smash Bros. My memory is a bit foggy, but I know it was one of those two. We had both an SNES and N64, my siblings and I shared. But I was much more interested in N64 games. Original coin-operated Space Invaders. Ms. Pac-Man in one of those sit-down arcade tables. In a truck stop just outside a Native American reserve. I was on a bus tour with about 100 elderly people. I was the only kid whose grandma dragged him along. Our bus broke down, so we were stranded there for a long time. To keep me entertained, the old people gave me all their quarters. And I fed them all to the machine happily. Alex Kidd in Miracle World. Gorf. Vic 20. Oldness checking in. Super Smash Bros. Melee. Donkey Kong. Combat on the Atari 2600. I was champion at asteroids at the local supermarket. Commander Keen. Pong. Pong. Tony Hawk Underground. Simpsons Hit and Run. Ratchet and Clank on the PS2. Pajama Sam. Resident Evil 4 on PS2. Pong. Space Invaders in an arcade. Back in early 80s. Damn, I'm old. Joust on Atari. Driver PS1. Crash Bandicoot 3. Warped. Handheld Tetris. PC. Road Rash. Centipede in a bowling alley arcade. Frogger on the PS1. Doom 2. DK Country SNES. My mom wanted to get drunk with her friends and she found the perfect babysitter. Pitfall. At home it was Hunt the Wumpus on a TI-99 4A. And later Combat on the 2600. But I think the first video game anywhere was a Space Invaders arcade machine. Doom. Sitting on my dad's knees. I would check the real walls in my house to find secret passages later. I was around 2, I guess. I'm kinda young and don't game much, but does Pop Tropica count? Or Wizard 101? Does Leapster Alphabet Factory count? Does Cool Math Games count? If none of those count, then probably Mario 8, or some Wii game. My grandpa and brother loved playing Wii games. Donkey Kong on the Game Boy. Mickey Mouse Castle of Illusion and Splatterhouse. Yar's Revenge. I can still hear the buzzing and nibbling noises. Mario Kart Wii. It's not as old as the other games on the comments, but I'm 15, so. House of the Dead and I was like 4. It wasn't the arcade version, but the Wii version. My cousin showed by the Henry Stickmin series on Stick Page when I was 6. Those games still hold up. Missile Command. I bought an Atari 2600 to save on quarters, but it just wasn't the same. Pac-Man on a Namco plug-and-play joystick, I think. New Super Mario Bros. I think. Either SMB on the NES or Breakout on my grandparents' old Atari. Both are early memories, but I don't know which one is earlier. SMB was definitely the first video game I played that was mine. Super Mario Land 2 to 6 golden coins on Game Boy. Street Fighter. Jump Jet on DOS. I know I played a few before it, but the first I remember is Jazz Jackrabbit, a racing arcade game in a Pizza Hut back in the 90s. I'm not sure which is the first, but either Super Mario World, Mega Man X, or Street Fighter 2, all on the SNES. A terrible Beetlejuice game on the Nintendo. Lego Star Wars on the original Nintendo DS. One of the Lego games, I think it was a Star Wars one. Always played that when I was at a friend's house, because my parents weren't fans of video games. Spyro the Dragon, Mega Man X, probably some Resident Evil, Nintendo 64, Mario Brothers. I hope to own that game one day, and get past World 3-3. I think it was that one. Super Mario Bros. 3, Sammy's Science Clubhouse, on floppy disk, Pac-Man on N64, Gran Turismo 4, Dave. It was a 365 I think that I played it on. A Lego game on the Game Boy, I don't remember the name. SMB3 in the GBASP I got for Christmas. A Flash Super Mario game. I've got introduced to the internet when I was 7, and that introduced me to loving Mario. Pac-Man. I still have the same cartridge. Same Atari. 2. Breakout. Probably Super Mario Bros. Or Pac-Man. Horace and the Spiders, I think. I played it in a Spectrum computer which used cassettes. I am not kidding. I think Wii Sports. Yeah, I'm that type of person. Sonic the Hedgehog. I wanted to go fast before Ricky Bobby did. Halo Combat Evolved. Pro Wrestling NES. Donkey Kong Country on the SNES. Heroes of Might and Magic 3. Math Blaster on PC. Playing Super Mario Bros. On NES. Playing Final Fantasy III US on SNES. Beaten in via a handful of Blockbuster rentals. Tetris. Duck Hunt on the NES. Complete with the light gun. A Mickey Mouse game from the Sega. He was a wizard or something, and fuck, that game was impossible. Need for Speed Underground on the PS2. Pac-Man on the Atari. My father's first console when I was 4, he was 28. Contra. Duck Hunter. And that fucking dog. Space Invaders. Little Big Planet on the PS3. Pong. Along with Wolfenstein, Doom 2, Hell on Earth, and Flight Simulator. Honorable mention, Red Alert. Gorilla. Bah. Spyro the Dragon on the original PlayStation. That game brings back so much nostalgia. The music was arguably the most pleasant part of that game. The art style was really bright and easy on the eye. Couldn't have asked for a better first game. Laughing Face. Link's Awakening Remake. I started a little late. It was a few months ago. Jak and Daxter, The Precursor Legacy. The start of a lifelong love of Naughty Dog and their games. Never missed one of their games since. Donkey Kong on ColecoVision. Leisure Suit Larry. It was forbidden, but I knew DOS. Also mixed up Mother Goose. Edit. Leisure Suit Larry in the Land of the Lounge Lizards. Tetris. Oddworld. Abe's Odyssey. Flipping loved it at the time. Follow Me. Edit. Shit, no. It was Lemmings. Still, the above was better. Ty the Tasmanian Tiger 2 on PS2, or some obscure volleyball game. Don't really remember the game that much, but it was on an Apple IIGS. Time Splitters. Pokémon Red. Mario, as in Super Mario Bros. On NES. Also Gradius too. For some reason not the first one. But I started playing those as soon as they put the controller into my toddler hands. 2 Lebanese pounds Little Big Planet 2. I miss my PS3. One Christmas when I was a kid, my parents got me a PS2 and a NASCAR racing game. I'm not sure why, because I've never really been into NASCAR, but it was really fun. Other than that, I remember playing Halo 3 at a friend's house. Bugged him on Apple's iBook. Wii Sports Resort Bowling. Rodent's Revenge. Choplifter on the Apple II. Road War 2000. A 1986 game so obscure it has only a handful of mentions on Reddit. In fairness, Wikipedia says they only sold 44,000 units of the game in North America.